Welcome to Truth Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Now, we're going to talk about something big passion of mine, bone on bone. Literally how cartilage can regenerate. And this is huge because I've had thousands of people coming to me saying, yeah, the doctor said it's bone on bone. Well, let's look at this. Okay, for what? What's a joint? Well, you've got two bones coming together, surrounded by a joint capsule, and the entire capsule is filled with fluid called synovial fluid. Now, you've got cartilage on the end of the bone to cushion. It enables you to bend, turn, twist, but also the nerves that supply that joint are vital. It tells the brain how to fire off the muscles that pass that joint. Now, let's cartilage job. Smooth padding protects the bones from rubbing, works like a shock absorber, and healthy cartilage is pain-free. It's full of fluid. It moves well. Now, cartilage thinning, reduces that shock absorbing. The nerves, and this is one of the biggest things, the nerve connection is huge. You've got the brain sends signals down through the spine, and these nerves innervate the joint. And they literally tell that brain how to fire off the muscles. See, muscles don't cross joints, but tendons do. And those tendons are surrounded by a capsule called a bursa sac, but the innervation of the joint is huge. It tells the brain to fire off the muscles, flexors versus extensors, agonist, antagonist. It's huge. So improper biomechanics, improper firing of those nerves create an unstable biomechanic joint. Now, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. It's going to help us grow and spread this vital, life-saving information. Healthy versus unhealthy. When you look at a healthy knee, you've got thick, beautiful cartilage. You've got a balanced nerve supply, so you get correct firing of the muscles, and you have smooth, beautiful, pain-free movement. Unhealthy joints, you have disrupted nerve supply, which alters the firing of the muscles that cross that joint. And this creates poor biomechanics. Cartilage wears thin. You get altered fluid flow into that and altered biomechanics. And then the cartilage wears thin, and then you get a doctor saying it's bone on bone. When you look, the healthy nerve supply to the joints is vital for firing off those muscles and creating a normal biomechanic force loading. So when you have unhealthy nerve supply, you have unhealthy firing of those muscles and unhealthy biomechanics, unhealthy movement. So then the joint gets compressed, and in that compressive aspect, it becomes unstable. So the body is going to change the biomechanics by changing the structure of the bone, and this is called arthritis. Now, when that nerve connection gets blocked, and this is huge, you get altered firing of those muscles, and that creates an abnormal force loading. And blocked or disrupted nerve supply is poor signaling to that brain, and that's where the muscle imbalances and altered biomechanic force loading occurs. Poor communication is poor biomechanics. So you get weak control over your muscles, and this makes the joint not stable. Altered gait, because you're walking, because it's altered biomechanics. Uneven pressure on the cartilage. That unequal force loading causes the cartilage to distort, to adapt to the new force loading. And this includes a lot of microtraumas. So when you look at this, arthritis is literally the response by the body to stabilize an unstable joint. So arthritis is actually, when the cartilage gets less, that joint becomes closer and it becomes unstable. So the bone responds by thickening, forming what doctors will call bone spurs, but it's really the body trying to stabilize that joint. Arthritis is developed, has that body, first you have the altered mechanics, that bone gets closer because the cartilage has to adapt to the abnormal force loading, and then the bone spurs or the bone distortion is really a stabilizing agent. The misconception is that arthritis is wear and tear. And I get this all the time from patients when they say, yeah, my right knee is really messed up, because And the doctor said it's bone on bone. They say, yeah, joints just wear out. I say, really? Well, what's the force loading of the left knee? And reality, arthritis is the body's protective defense strategy. It reduces mobility to protect that damaged joint. And the goal of arthritis is to prevent further injury. Now, when you look at proper spinal alignment, the spine serves as the body's central column for balance and alignment. Posture, poor posture, causes an uneven force loading on those joints. And this increases the stress on those joints. Good spinal alignment supports healthy hips, knees, ankles, feet, everything. That's why when you're presented with a joint issue, whether it's a shoulder, elbow, wrist, hip, knee, foot, you have to look at the force loading on that, and you have to look at the entire system. It's called holistic, but it's just common sense. Now, you've got healthy discs on the left, unhealthy discs on the right. Are they unhealthy? And you can see that you have a bone, it's separated by the disc, and the discs have a horrible blood supply. They get their nutrients through movement. So if you have a trauma causing, and you can see in that right picture, a reversal of the curve, that changes the force loading, the disc can't get their nutrients, so the disc becomes closer, then the body in its wisdom lengthens the contact surface, and you'll see literally the bones change. So this is a stabilizing agent for unstable joints. And you can see in these pictures, you got a reversal of the curve. And what happens with that reversal of the curve? Well, you can see the disc becomes compressed. Why? Because you have altered movement. And those joints, those discs get their nutrients through movement. If that disc can't get its nutrients, it becomes compressed. And then the body will lengthen that contact surface. And the doctors will say, well, it's degenerative disc disease, it's degenerative joint disease, but it's not a disease. It's literally from trauma. And in order to have a reverse curve, it means you've injured the posterior longitudinal ligament that runs down the back half of the vertebrae. Now, the nutrients for cartilage repair. Number one thing, inflammation is how the body repairs itself, but inflammation can create free radical formation that can damage healthy tissue. So when we say anti-inflammatories, we're looking at foods that can deactivate those free radicals that allow inflammation to regenerate the joint. So the anti-inflammatory foods, and these are foods that take care of the free radical formation that allows inflammation to function correctly. And there's going to be berries, greens, turmeric, ginger, almost all plants, okay, have the antioxidants. And then look at healthy fatty fish. Fantastic. Look at collagen boosters such as vitamin C, zinc, amino acids, and hydration. Remember, every joint in your body is hydraulic. It needs fluid. Okay. And so this means healthy amounts of water. Squeeze a lemon or a lime in there. Put some sea salt in there so you get good electrolytes in that water. And look at the color of your urine. If your urine is dark, unless you're taking a whole bunch of vitamins, it means you're dehydrated. You need that urine light, yellow, or almost clear. And look at low impact. And we do distractive forces on every patient, every joint. So we'll give weights to open up the shoulders. We'll give ankle weights to open up the knee joint to create a negative pressure. And movement is the key. Movement pumps nutrients into the cartilage. Remember, cartilage has a very poor blood supply. It gets its nutrients through that synovial fluid. Now look at swimming, cycling, brisk walking, yoga. Strength and flexibility recovery is optimal joint protection. And look at the firing of the muscles. So that changes the abnormal force loading to a normal force loading so that cartilage can remodel to the normal or the new biomechanics. And avoid repetitive high impact overloading. So you don't want to do compressive forces, you want to do distractive forces. And that will create a negative pressure, allowing the fluid to flow into those joints. The difference between local inflammation and chronic or systemic inflammation is mind-blowingly important. Chronic stress and the physical, chemical, emotional stress causes your body to release cortisol, which is an anti-inflammatory and has a number of different beneficial effects to keep you alive short term under stress. Now, inflammation impairs tissue repair. That's systemic inflammation because your body is in this fight or flight system. And you got two nervous systems. You've got the sympathetic, parasympathetic, or you have stress or regeneration. That parasympathetic is suppressed, that regenerative aspect of your automatic nervous system, autonomics, is suppressed under cortisol. Lifestyles, look at mindfulness, deep breathing, exercises, regular sleep. All of these things are going to activate that autonomic nervous system so that your body can regenerate. And look at obesity, joint mechanics, extra weight, extra force loading. Added body weight magnifies forces on hips, knees, spine. With each step, even moderate weight gain can speed down cartilage break. Now, this is why obesity also raises inflammation, further damaging cartilage. Because you got to figure most people are obese from eating foods that they can't metabolize. Weight management improves longevity and regeneration potential. Absolutely. Cartilage can rebuild. Cartilage can rebuild. Cartilage has more healing potential than once believed. Absolutely. And you got to figure, why? Why do doctors not know this? Well, the first drug they give you for joint pain is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. And there's going to be Advil, Motrin, Aleve, or even Tylenol, which is not in that category, but it has a similar effect. It decreases the building product of cartilage, proteoglycan production. And anytime you're chemically altering inflammation, they're not going to see regeneration. Cartilage has way more healing potential than most doctors even know because they're always drugging to limit that potential of regeneration. Research shows that repair via stem cell activity and microcirculation, the right environment encourages regeneration. Yeah. Now you got to restore the nerve supply. The nerve supply, it regulates repair and blood flow and firing of the muscles that cross the joints. Misalignment may block signals. Chiropractic adjustments restore the nerve flow and healing potential. That's why L3 to the knee, all the brachial plexus, all the upper extremity comes out of the neck. All the nerves that supply the lower extremities comes out of the lumbar and sacrum area. You've got to improve biomechanics. And this is why we give cross-crawl exercises to every patient. Okay, movement delivers nutrients to that cartilage via the joint fluid, that superfiltrated blood called synovial fluid. Correct posture and gait reduces the stress on the joints, and it also changes to a normal biomechanical force loading. Flexibility, alignment, healing, support, everything has to do with gait. That's why we always alter gait on the patients to change that force loading to regenerate it. And let food be your medicine. Anti-inflammatory eating. Diet reduces inflammation and supports tissue repair. That's because these have the antioxidants to deactivate those free radicals. Rainbow. Eat for color. And I'm not talking Fruit Loops or Skittles. Look at the bioflavonoids in carrots or fruits or antioxidants or tomatoes or cauliflower or greens. Get that rainbow and omega-3s, fantastic for that inflammatory signals. So optimal diet, you've got a hunter-gatherer body. Your diet should be consistent with that. That means organic, healthy, locally grown, seasonal foods. If you get an organic foods that cross state lines, it can sometimes be sprayed. Coconut oil, olive oil, fermented veggies, probiotics, juiced vegetables, blend the fruits, raw dairy, reduce omega-6, and increase animal fat-based omega-3s. Supplements, it can be vital. Glucosamine, MSM. This literally supports cartilage growth. Collagen, peptides, strengthen the joint matrix. Turmeric, curcumin, natural. Anti-inflammatories, remember, food with anti-inflammatories deactivate the free radicals and it makes inflammation regenerate the tissue. It's the best as a part of a holistic plan. Joint replacement is the end result, and you do not want to get that if you can avoid it. If you have to get it, you have to get it. If you can avoid it, you can regenerate the joints. Thank God. Okay, now regeneration is possible without drugs or surgery. And number one thing, the body is wired to heal. Your body breaks and builds 1 billion cells a day. Movement, alignment, circulation are the keys to get that proper force loading on that. Cartilage responds to consistent natural care. The x-ray is up top. You're looking at a reverse x-ray on a cervical spine on the left. You're looking at a normal curve on the right. And this happens to be a patient before and after. He was actually injured with acro yoga. I know, that was something. Now, the last resort is stem cells. And this is something that we do at our clinic in Tijuana. But you've got to restore the biomechanics first. The stem cells are amazing. They can stimulate cartilage production, cardiac cells. They can stimulate red blood cells, chondrocytes, which is the building block of cartilage. They stimulate everything. But it's not a first-line treatment. And even though I have a stem cell clinic, we don't recommend it until you restore the biomechanics. You got to correct the physical, chemical, emotional stressors. And then your body can produce its own stem cells. The stem cells, mesenchymal cells, induced pluripotent stem cells hold promise for cartilage repair due to their ability to differentiate into chondrocytes, the key cells responsible for cartilage formation. And it can help. And once you restore the biomechanics, once you correct the physical, chemical, emotional stress, and then you can add the stem cells, and then they'll work. And I encourage you to look at the results that we get at Holistic Care. And this is one giant clinic that has American Biodental, Bergman Family Chiropractic, and Holistic Care. I don't know of any other complete clinic like this. Now, I love this. At Holistic Care, Bergman Family Chiropractic and American Biodental believe in a whole body approach to wellness and health. You cannot get health unless you're looking at the whole body. By integrating chiropractic care, advanced dental treatments, holistic therapies, our team provides personalized care. And it has to be personalized because everybody has different issues, different physical, chemical, and emotional stress. Now, what we do there, we do stem cells, IV therapies, integrated cancer therapies, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which is amazing, LED light therapy, that extracorporeal blood oxygenation and ozonation is amazing. Ozone therapy, PRP, platelet-rich plasma, amazing. The IVs that we do are incredible. Myers cocktail, you're looking at B vitamins and minerals, vitamin C, and we use an L-ascorbic acid, which you can use up to 100 grams of that, which is then you're very therapeutic level for certain cancers. Glutathione detoxifies and protects cells from oxidative damage. DMSO, amazing. Okay, NAD plus, coenzyme Q10. You're looking at peptides, which help regenerate the tissue. You're looking at alpha lipoic acid, at chelation. And look at all IVs. You're going to either detox or get nutrients in the system, bypassing the digestive system. So this way you can, if you have a chronic state of stress, you might not be getting the absorption of those nutrients. And then we do live blood cell analysis to see if the IVs are working. It's just crystal clear. Now we offer free transportation. You can park on the U.S. side. We have vans go out that pick you up and drive you across the border to our clinic. And our clinic is located in the floor of the Grand Hotel. So you're going to be staying right above the clinic. You can't make it easier. And this is us. I mean, give us a call. You're looking Monday through Saturday. And we've got great teams. I love that clinic down in Tijuana. I really do. Now check out our websites. Look at drjohnbergman.com, bergmanchiropractic.com, and look at holisticcare.com and American Biodental. Just get down there, check us out. And remember, the key to healing, and this is the key to regenerating cartilage, you need the proper nerve supply. You got to get out of the stress state because you have that sympathetic, parasympathetic, and you've got to look at the nerve supply to those joints. Regular exercise. This means symmetrical, good force loading. And if you have a damaged joint, look at distractive force loadings, proper nerve supply, sufficient rest, and prayer and meditation. Now, please post your questions and comments below this. We're going to get to as many as we can. And really, post them immediately because we get an overwhelming amount. And I love this quote, the body is a temple, but only if you treat it as one. Your system is not defective. You're made in the image and likeness of God. And the planet was built for you and you were built for the planet. Joints do not wear out. Okay, if you have compromised biomechanical force loading, altered nerve supply, or a chronic state of stress, you can't regenerate. You're in a constant state of breakdown and buildup. God bless you all. The planet was built for you, and you were built for the planet. Take care, my friends.